Okay, Jay. Denny. Hi.
When you're sick, the better you'll feel when you're 66.
What's your favorite sport?
Football.
Football. Why do you like football? What's fun about football?
Because football, you can only use your feet, not your hands.
You only use your feet, not your hands? How about your head?
Your head also.
You can use your head, yeah.
And your tongue.
And your tummy. You just can't use your hand.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite part? When you play football, what's the most fun?
Then you can score a goal.
Score goals. What did you do physically that you can't do
that
now?
You can't do now.
Well, I could hop on one leg and stand on one a lot longer when I was your age. You can still do a lot of things, but I can't run as fast as I used to run.
Do you want me to show you how fast I can run?
Sure. That's fast. That's really fast. It would take me a long time to run that far.
You know I can run faster than I just ran.
Oh, yeah, you just don't have enough room to run in here.
No,
I'm sure you can run really fast.
You know I can run.
I used to could run really fast, but not so much now. I can still run, but not very fast.
You know that. No, I can run faster than that.
No, I don't think I can run faster than that. I think you can run faster than me.
My name is Chia Kwok Ying. Right. I am 68. When that first lesson, I realized, oh my God, you know, I almost died. It take a whole week for me to recover. Suddenly you discover there are muscles in your body, you know. As we continue the conditioning exercise, of course it's hard, you know, it's like step by step. Initially you had to do cat hang, right? And it's like, I can't do it. But with the weeks pass and then it's like, hey, you can do it. So I think that's what is the most encouraging. Sometimes we do it like as quietly as possible. They're like ninjas, right? Or as fast as possible. That builds the continuity. And then as you face the obstacle, sometimes you just improvise.
I was a very depressed person, not knowing what to do with my life. And then when I saw them, the founders of L'Art du Déplacement, it just clicked. And so the movement basically changed my life, and I want to bring that to people. I met this 64-year-old lady in a food center who approached me asking if I was a dancer or a weightlifter. We struck a conversation and I basically told her what I did. And she was just curious as to whether it would help her with her balance issues. So we met the next day morning and I just trained her for free twice a week. She was pushing this trolley wherever she went because she would easily lose her balance and fall. After 2.5 months of just strengthening, she managed to walk without the trolley. And I took videos of the process. We posted it on Facebook and then it got viral. That's how the first generation of seniors came in from that time. I think there are a lot of benefits of parkour for seniors, but I think I would just try to cramp it down to one main thing, which is a sense of possibility. And at their age, they start to lose hope and lose a sense of possibility that I'm at this age, my body is deteriorating. What I want to try to do is to try to help people regain a sense of control over their body's fate.
For seniors wanting to stay active, the first slogan I can share is that it is never too early nor too late to start. The second point is to be screened for exercise, that it is safe for you to pursue your activity. And the third point is to start small. There are many community-based programs that are very low cost, so they can get involved in some of them to find out the sorts of activities that they may enjoy doing.
I get up like 4:30, 5 o'clock. I will do my meditation. And then my calligraphy. It's very meditative because you also have to watch your breath. So that's very nice when the sun just rises, outside the window. After that, I will practice my guzheng for maybe 1.5 hours. Mornings that I have parkour, so I don't have time for making anything. Just have some water before I go off.
I decided to start Movement Singapore, mainly focused on bringing parkour to seniors to encourage the idea of movement. I even hesitate to use the word parkour because of all its connotations. The general impression of parkour is young boys, recklessness, or even trespassing, dangerous, full of injuries.
Perceptions of parkour in the past was like, oh my God, I can't do this. Leaping from roof to roof, rooftop to rooftop, or really climbing, few stories. That was my perception. Then I had friends who joined parkour classes. It's a very fun group. We really encourage each other. 加油, 加油,
The main thing that I take note of for teaching seniors is the risk of injury. I would have an assessment for each individual and pull out that repertoire of movements to keep that motivation going, because we all crave a healthy challenge and we all crave that sense of control.
My biggest challenge in doing parkour actually is also what attracts me, is overcoming my fears. So in a sense, parkour also, all this climbing onto the railings or climbing onto the walls or leaping, from a bench to the wall. It's very scary, For older folks, right? Falls is one major cause of immobility and hospitalizations, and then you go downhill once you're immobile. So I think a sense of balance, it really helps you to have your feet on the ground.
我的体魄就增强了，就是肌肉也是增强。然后动作也比较敏捷、灵活，反应能力也很迅速。学了跑酷之后，我知道怎么保护自己。我知道，假如我跌倒的话，我懂得翻滚。所以我不相信我是那么容易跌倒的一个人。当我年老的时候。
So I do feel seniors need to engage in more full body conditioning. Because once you are doing your full body exercise or you move your whole body, you become tuned into your body. You are aware when something goes wrong in your body.
The recommended number of exercises is given by the WHO. That means 10,000 steps per day. That's a high amount of steps, of course, but we showed in our own research that every step you take additionally to the steps you did yesterday will reduce your risk of negative outcomes. During the aging process, all our organs are deteriorating, inclusive the muscle and the bone. We are losing 1% of muscle mass from the age of 30 to the age of 80. These numbers coming out of epidemiological studies, which means that roughly 50% of muscle mass is being lost at the age of 80. The positive thing is that we can reverse that because we know that even at the age of 80 or 90 or 100, if we do exercises with these individuals, that we can grow muscle mass. So we have enough stem cells, these are very tiny cells in the muscle, beautiful cells, that we can stimulate them, that they are being activated, that we replicate again, and replication means you are making mass. And the end result is muscle mass and muscle strength, and there with a reduced risk of, for example, falls and fractures.
Physical wellness means being mobile and being able to get up of bed in the morning and not creaking out. And I think it's something we take for granted when we're younger. And then as you age, you really feel, I'm not as young as I used to be. And I think we should all just try to find ways to maintain it.
I think the one thing for me to improve in the aging population is clearly the mindset. Yeah, having a positive growth kind of mindset where you keep trying, you keep being curious, being open, to really get out of that comfort zone and really experience life. You know, life is a lot more than where we are.
A lot of the aging population tend to stay at home. For the older generation, I would say come out more.
I think I would like to move away from the usual activities that the older folks are always recommended to do, like craft, karaoke.
Get fresh air, spend more time with your family and friends outdoors. You know, even if not to exercise, just for a walk.
Just take a slow walk. No need to walk very fast. Yeah. Yes, keep trying.
Physical health to me, just strong, yeah. And the body is relaxed. Yeah, that's all.
Okay.
So what do you think, Seb?
To me, you have to make an effort. Maintain some form of exercise. The best is walking. Walking, if you can swim, swim. So I think the best for anyone at any age, right, probably would be walking, swimming, and maybe some light weights or any aerobics. A lot of movement. Make sure there's a lot of movement. To me, that's physical health.
Yeah, I heard that swimming, some people say it's a best way to help you lose the weight and to help you review for healthy.
It's an overall sport, right? Where your whole body is
doing the exercise.
Yeah, it's a good sport to get into weightlifting.
Yeah.
Actually, for the elderly, social isolation is really the problem. Because once you are socially isolated and you don't go out, then you really get depressed. And then you lose your sense of connectedness, and then slowly you lose your mobility. So it's very, very important to be socially connected. That's why I guess, my parkour friends, very important.
The physical health is closely related to the mental health, mental well-being, and also psychosocial well-being. It's all connected. In the context of the aging, physical wellness of the older persons are often related to the dignity and also sense of they actually participate in the community. If you actually look at many of the mid-income countries in Asia, pick out China or Thailand, Malaysia, for example, more and more the community-based project is coming up to promote well-being of the older persons, not just focus on the physical health, but also the well-being.
the mental and social benefits for elders overlap as they have bi-directional effects on each other. If they stay physically active, for example, a simple task of opening up a bottle of chili sauce, they are now able to do it because they have increased and improved on their grip strength. So it imbues in them a great sense of confidence, the ability that they can do many things, and they can continue to stay independent. Interacting with people from different walks of life would boost their emotional state as well. They are less fearful of many uncertainties that life may bring.
I really don't feel you can separate mental and physical well-being. And to me, mental well-being, the most important element is resilience, overcoming challenges and fear. In our training in Parkour, this is what we aim to do, to overcome our fears, but slowly, step by step. And when you have that sense of confidence in your body, it's integrated to your mental sense of resilience. Because you fall, you just get up.
Since my mom took up parkour, we have been able to spend more time together.
她在2017年再次邀请我去参加一个3天的跑酷活动营，我就答应了，我没拒绝她。那时候我发现到她自从参加跑酷运动后，那3年，我感觉到她就是身体非常的健康，也非常的阳光。在那3天的活动营里，改变了我的这个看法。会发觉到有不同年龄层的人在里面。 有老人啦，也有中年人，还有年轻人、小孩，他们都很开心的做着不同的程度的运动，让我感觉到，这个运动其实不是我想象中那么危险的。跑酷是一个移动艺术，是一个非常美的艺术，它里面有太多的内涵。是啊，我们的感情越来越好啊，因为我们常常在一起，无所不谈。 他是我的儿子，他是我的教练，他是我的好朋友。
I have this mantra that I like to say, if you can move, you can learn. Knowing that a sense of possibility is in their own hands rather than in somebody else's words or, there are a lot of things that they can do by themselves.
我不想增加任何的负担给孩子们，我要过我自己的生活，我自己的生命，我自己的生活，我自己控制。那是一种很棒的感觉。在我这个年龄，我还能够做这么多以前 从没想过的动作，高难度的动作。我在这里找到了童真，小时候可能拥有的，但是却失去蛮久的童真，我在这里找回了。
I think movement in itself is beautiful, and it's a gateway for myself to experience freedom. It's reawakening an innate ability that we all have. There's this idea of being appreciative and grateful for being alive and having all kinds of physical structures around you to play with. So it brings the spirit of a child, and on top of that, also to celebrate humanness together with other humans, to play together and support each other.
When I'm older, I will want to be able to walk and walk and walk without any walking stick, if possible.
When I'm older, I will continue to follow my coach and learn how to fly.
When I'm older, I want to continue to be happy and laugh every day.
When I'm older, I'll be the grandma that my grandchildren are proud of. Yay!
My favorite sport is actually swimming.
Swimming?
I like to go swimming. There's actually like a public swimming pool near my house.
I also have a sport that I have to go on every Thursday, except for when I take holiday and my school celebrations. Martial arts, also known as jiu-jitsu. I can even do a cartwheel now.
Cartwheel? I also can, you know?
Do you know what my teacher can do?
What?
A flip. My teacher can just jump on the trampoline and do a flip.
Wow.
10 times in the air before coming down. But I can only do one flip, that's all. Dad, I can see you again.
My name is Tara, and I'm a part of the oldest group at the Art of Sport. Being a teenager is quite a complicated phase of life. You learn a lot about yourself, and a lot of things change about how you look and how well you know yourself. It's an exciting as well as challenging phase. Being fit does help me because it makes me more confident about how I look, and it makes me feel stronger. I started playing football maybe age 6, and I still do. I play basketball. And otherwise, my hobbies are mostly music. I play the guitar and the piano, and I'm also interested in drawing.
The concept of using their bodies for play started literally when they were babies and they were crawling. From the time they were crawling, I used to take them out to a park. The time they were waddling, introduce them to a football. Being a father of 2 girls has impacted everything that I do here. 30 years difference.
Girls in our country are protected a lot more, and unfortunately the flip side of that protection is that they don't get to explore all aspects of their capacity and their strength. It was really important to remind every young girl that you are also a body that's not just about being beautified and pretty, but also a body that can be strong and capable.
Bye. Bye. I'll be back at 7. Okay, baby. See you. Bye. See you, baby.
I founded the Art of Sport with my wife, Nupur, about 7 years back.
But she likes to indulge in it like any normal kid would. Excellent.
So I am. Sorry, no, I am.
We wanted to create a safe space, both physically, structurally, and emotionally for them, so that this exploration could start. Mental health is actually a very crucial part of the art of sport. In fact, I would say it's the part that takes up most of our energy and attention. The way in which we design every session, it reflects that.
My favorite part is when I see all my friends there. and then just conversation starts and the whole tension of the day is just lost. I'm feeling extremely hungry.
And you're very hungry. Okay. So maybe next time you will say, I still haven't understood.
1, 2, 3.
Do lunch walks. You know that pretty well by now?
Art of Sport has become a place for me to vent my feelings through physical activity, and I've made a lot more friends here as well. The main thing about having them in the space is that it makes the exercises more doable.
We build capacity in girls, and how we do that is through a team sport. We do that through getting them in social experiences so that they begin to understand what their potential is, what they are really good at, and we guide them to understand what they can achieve.
I started in 2015. I was 7, and there were very simple activities, and I had a lot of fun with my friends. I become quite competitive when I participate in sporting activities, and that makes me want to become better at it. And then when I do become better at it, when I put that effort into improving, then I find that I'm more confident in my abilities.
Off you go!
Every child comes in with their own individual challenge, and our work is to help to notice that, to make it explicit, encourage them to push themselves out of what remains their comfort zone.
3, 2, 1. Excellent. That's it. Move. Excellent.
Tara was always a child who had a lot of courage to do physical things, but socially, she was always a little hesitant. With the Art of Sport, she's really found a diverse group of girls where she's been able to have compassion for other people's struggles and therefore her own.
1 member per team. You have to take baby step, large step.
I feel usually exhilarated, sometimes disappointed at how I've performed, but I always put in my best. So usually there's a feeling of accomplishment.
One giant step forward.
Physical fitness for children pre-puberty and post is extremely important. Physiology of it is changing. The hormones are changing the bodies. So it's so important to have physical fitness in their lives that regulates the hormones that are changing the bodies.
We all focus on early nutrition and physical development, brain development. What we often neglect to see is the importance of transitions. Puberty as a transition point from being a good girl who does what she's told to somebody who is now undergoing this hormone-fueled discovery of the self is a very volatile period or a time of crisis. Like, it could go either way because everything that's in us is coming to a head. In our society, the body of the young girl is met with a lot of complex mixed feelings. There's protection, but there's envy. There's some amount of disgust. And all of it ends up meaning that the girl internalizes the shame as if she's wrong, as if she's doing something wrong just by living in this body. So getting these girls to experience their bodies as something strong and capable becomes a huge part of their self-image as the positive aspects of their mental health. We take transitions very seriously because we're aware that we need a little bit of a support, right? I mean, we're talking about these early stages, but this forms the blueprint for how we age.
The state of physical activity of young people in Asia just before adulthood is not very rosy. Broad studies put together have come to the consensus that very few young people meet the physical activity guidelines. These days, physical exertion is considered as quite abnormal because it makes you sweat. On the other hand, being sedentary is commonplace and desired. There is also the overindulgence in screen media and gadgets. So society these days are relatively more obesogenic than energetic. Play unleashes in young people creativity, the ability to get along with others. Playtime teaches young people the ability to express emotions in a very natural setting. Some of the research that we did in schools, where we encourage schools to provide additional time of up to half an hour of free play in a safe environment, what we found that it was not enough to provide just the opportunity for play, but also to teach children how to play spontaneously. So we had to teach them and give them the opportunity to discover different forms of play activity, to encourage younger people to be physically active. I would say give yourself that chance. Do not deny yourself the multiple benefits that being physically active and being less sedentary can bring to the utility and the joy of living.
To me, physical wellness means being secure in your own body and not feeling bad of how you look and having the stamina to do what you want.
We play games that, like, you don't realize you're exercising, but you actually are. Like tag and stuff, they don't let you do that in other sports.
I would want to be an environmentalist. In my head, I would be going on long walks, explore nature, to explore the forest, and I think like the stamina I built here would really help me then.
I've been trying to eat healthier, like more protein and stuff, less carbs, but I cannot let go of my carbs. Oh, I love carbs. I love it a lot. Pasta and rice. That's all I eat. Yeah, I will eat more rice than protein. That's the bad part.
And I realized that when you eat a bit healthier, maybe because at my age, right? Sorry, I feel lighter. So if I have a clean lunch, in my afternoons, right, I don't get the, the afternoon brain fog.
Oh.
Yeah.
So what sports would you like to try?
If there was a sport I would like to try, it would be ice skating. I have tried when I was younger. Recently at the Olympics, we were watching the figure skating, right? The Winter Olympics, and it was really, really nice. They looked like they were having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It seemed very therapeutic, very graceful.
Elegant, yeah. I would like to try boxing. I think because people say they train their endurance and strength. Yeah, and their speed.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to be strong like that.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Then I think next time you can do the lifting also. Your
One
strength.
day, one day.
Yeah, one day at a time.
We know from scientific studies that our gut, our health in general, tends to deteriorate as we age if we don't take care of it properly. And it's perhaps even more important that we pay more attention to our gut health, to what we eat as we go along.
I like to come to the market to get ideas for inspiration for R&D and experimentation. I don't think I have any favorites, really. But fruits are quite fun to work with. They're quite versatile. The flavors work really well in ferments.
I started thinking about food when I was studying in the UK. Like any student living abroad, you sort of have to learn how to cook in order to survive. because I was doing my bachelor's in chemistry back then, and I was trying to figure out how I could use chemistry principles to make food taste better. I started to build my own cocktail bar at home. I started to look into coffee and particularly espresso making. I think that all formed the basis for my understanding of flavors and food. And I was also quite intrigued by how the Vietnamese and Thai make their fish sauces. So I was wondering if I could create a sauce that was sort of a blend between the two ideas. So for this, I used whole shrimp, Vietnamese shrimp that I got from Jurong Fishery Port. And I mixed it with some koji, that's a rice mold, some salt and some water. Left it to age for a few months. And after the fermentation process, took it out, blended it, sieved it, pasteurized it. And the result is this 3-year-old shrimp sauce. So I'll use this as to add like an umami, salty component. So I do a lot of my R&D experiments at home. So this is where I like to tinker with things, prototype, go through a few iterations of development. And if it's good, when I'm satisfied with it, I usually pitch them to clients. So amazake is a traditional Japanese beverage made from fermented rice. Here we have one that's made with local rice, basmati rice. So the basmati brings about that nuttiness, that pandan-like fragrance. So now we make it at the brewery, where we sell it to one of our clients. Kombucha is a beverage made from fermented tea. They are all tea-centric, so we just add tea, sugar, of course tartar culture, and we let the bacteria, the yeast, the fermentation express itself. This is our Taekwondo Oolong Kombucha. This is probably my favorite. So this is Lapsang Souchong Kombucha, and the fermentation produces light fruitiness, almost reminiscent of dried longan, red date. So this is our hojicha, which is of course a roasted Japanese green tea. I started working in a lab that was looking at organic synthesis. So in organic synthesis, we are looking at creating complex chemical molecules from simpler chemical molecules. Instead of relying purely on chemical principles, to use microbes to do a lot of the heavy lifting and a lot of the work. And that got me thinking about why is that we don't seem to celebrate our culture as much. And that was why I started to preach and evangelize our own Asian ferments and to encourage people to celebrate our own culture, social culture as well as our microbiological culture. I don't claim to, make authentic kimchi or miso. What I try to do as a scientist is to look at evidence to understand fermentation from a molecular, microbial perspective and look at how different cuisines, different cultures have fermented the ingredients and try and pick the best learning points from each and apply that to what I know.
We live with trillions of microbes all around us, and the challenge is how do we live in that symbiotic or in that mutually beneficial relationship? We need the microbes. They do produce very useful molecules that are essential to human health, and fermented foods are good for us in two broad ways. Firstly, the entire fermentation process creates a lot of beneficial strains of microbes. Secondly, fermentation encourages the growth of these strains, which then help to break down the foods we eat. So that for us as humans, when we eat these foods that are partially broken down, we then have to expend less energy to break down these foods to get the nutrients out of these foods. There are a number of ways to look at whether a gut is healthy. At its simplest, we look at bowel habits. How often do people go to the bathroom? What's the caliber, the consistency of their stool? If we want to take it to the next level, to be much more molecular, much more microbial about it, you can do what is known as a gut microbiome test. We are in Emily's crown jewel, where we do all of our research as well as store all these very, very precious microbiome preparations. And these are the individuals who have undergone very stringent testing to make sure that they are appropriate donors, and their microbiomes are then harvested, processed, and put into the freezer, stored at minus 80 degrees Celsius until there are suitable patients for microbiome transplant to restore their gut microbes to a healthy state and hence improve their overall health. Gut microbanking is very novel today. We know that our gut microbiome is at its best at a very young age before we contaminate ourselves with antibiotics, with additives and ultra-processed foods. This notion of banking your best self makes sense because we know that over time the microbiome deteriorates. Studies demonstrated that if we can transplant the microbiome, the microbes from young animals into older animals, we can actually reverse some of the anatomical changes related to aging in the brain as well as the eye. And these are truly profound studies because it does point us to the possibility, to the prospect that we can not only age, which we have to do, but we can age well.
For people who want to improve their gut health, can have up to 6 serves of fermented foods a day. Have a variety. It could be sauerkraut, it could be kimchi. Fermented foods have been shown in studies to help improve not only your immunity, but making some nutrients more bioavailable. So say for example, like I have a yogurt over here. Now what yogurt is basically fermented milk. But what happens is that the lactose is broken down, making it more digestible for some people. Prebiotics are basically fibrous foods, including the polyphenols, the natural nutrient that comes in natural fruits like fruits and vegetables. And probiotic is the good bacteria. Of course, you have some naturally living in your gut, but there are also sources of probiotics from foods. Together, they work in harmony to produce good short-chain fatty acids for good health and also supports immunity. So you need to have a lot more nutritionally dense food in order to get all the nutrients you need when we grow old. To maintain a healthy gut, you need to remember 3 things. Fresh, fiber, fermented. Eat fresh, wholesome foods. Make sure you have enough fiber in your diet, 20 to 35 grams a day, and also have some fermented foods in your diet.
I think fermentation has changed my attitude towards food in exposing me to different cultures and traditions. I want to push the boundaries in a way that makes sense. I want to see what else we can do and how can we apply the knowledge that humanity has accumulated over this millennia and see what kind of new things we can still come up with and how we can be creative. And I think it's this experimentation that demands a stronger introspection. It forces me to really think more about the essence of food while still paying homage to the original idea or the intent of such a recipe.
Physical wellness, when you actually are getting in the later stage of your life, is also closely related to the younger generations. The life cycle approach means that the health of the older person's healthy status all actually dated back into the different generations. Healthy behaviors, of course, good eating and exercise, all related to that.
The aging process is a continuous process. So we can already measure at very early ages that we are deteriorating. So we should already think about our health when we are 20 or 30. And these are so important. For example, keeping your muscles healthy, keeping your bones healthy, keeping your brain healthy. Most importantly is that you are happy.
Our bodies are probably the most amazing machine that we will ever own in our lifetime. So as we age, we should take care of this body so that we can do all the things that we want to do with lots of energy and enthusiasm and enjoy life to the fullest.
Age is subjective.
Age is irrelevant. We kind of all need the same basic things as human beings.
Age is a mental prison.
Old people are wise.
Old people are precious. So I have a really close relationship with my grandma, and I think old people can be really cute at times.
Old people are experienced. They have a lot of stories to learn from.
Young people are energetic.
Young people are great. They're getting more and more outspoken, I think, and I think that's amazing.